Tonight's mission is to turn all this beautiful basil into pesto. Gonna puree it in some olive oil and put it in the freezer and chunk it off as I need. First step in preserving your beautiful basil is to wash it. And then you'll want to rinse it off after you wash it, and you pick out any of these big stems. Take those out, anything crappy. I just want to give it a good wash. Next we're going to blanch it. After you got your basil all washed, you're going to want to blanch it ever so briefly, just enough to make it wilt. And then take it out. That will stop that enzyme very quickly. Stop it from breaking down. And you want to just put it right in ice water right away. Kill that enzyme, and will keep your basil much fresher. Anyways, then you want to bathe it in ice water right away. So I'm going to keep doing that with all of these. Then you're going to want to get this dry, and we're going to have to take it off all the stems and stuff. But just blanch, transfer to ice water, and continue going. Once you have the basil all blanched and dipped and you let it dry off a bit, then you're going to pull it off of these stalks. You just want these leaves, and the flowers are fine too. These big stalks are too fibrous. So you're going to take those and stick them in a colander or something so you can dry them off. Dry them off a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all these and strip them down and see that. I have it all cleared off the stems. Put the stems in here and just compost them. Now I want to get these leaves as dry as possible, so I'm going to put them in a colander and kind of toss them around, and then use some paper towel and dry them off. You want to try and get as much moisture off these as possible. So once I got most of the moisture out, I'm going to take paper towel and just absorb as much of the water as possible before we put it in the blender. Once I got that patted dry, then I'm going to stick it in the blender. I put a couple of cloves of garlic in this one. And we're going to add some olive oil to it. And start to blend in. Just want to be sparse with it at first. See what kind of consistency you have. So I got the garlic and the basil and the olive oil in there. And I'm just going to start grinding it, add oil and the rest of the basil, and keep going down until I make it into a nice paste. So I got it made into this beautiful paste. It smells beautiful. Now I'm going to spread it out onto a cake pan and then freeze it. Then I can break it off into chunks and use it when I need some fresh basil. All kinds of uses for it. Sometimes people will put this in little ice cube trays too. That's a lot of extra work for me. So I'm just going to spread this out on here and stick it in the freezer and break it off into chunks as needed. So we're back to my basil puree. It's been in the freezer for a few hours. I'm just going to snap it out of here, break it into chunks, and store it in the freezer. And I can just break off chunks as I need it to make any old kind of thing that would use basil. Pasta sauces, fish, chicken. It's all good. Easy peasy.